Becoming yourself one. But for him they were flying initiation. Sequence 1, first school, 5. Water then. Mountains. Winds and plants and seeds and jungle. What else could be found likewise, if you looked hard enough? Did he look? He did indeed. Not that he saw very well, but of course there were tigers. He knew that. There were boulders, rocks, and sand, muddy rivers, bridges, boats, sampans, rubber trees, paddy fields throughout the land, jalans, snakes, coffee shops and towns. The list was long, endless, most probably. Finally, last but not least, there was them, conjointly into the bargain. Them? Ah, right. And who the devil were them? His daddy, for example, who had fallen in love with this country and who meant to live here all his life, if possible, though, have no doubt about it, the sun played hell with his white skin. Moreover, there was, for the moment need it be said, his tame mummy, who always seemed just a little spent somehow. Maybe because she hated the place and loathed the insects and ants that flew, and was afraid of the snakes she was fated to meet, bloody bats and termites, and all the manky mold that grew. And him? And him, of course, who was, in some strange way, their lost child. Or maybe not. Lost child? Might that have been another? From the very beginning. We shall never know. Unlike his parents, with all their conflicting impressions, Johnny could not judge whether it was good or bad, this land where they lived. One single thing he thought he had grasped, and thus in this felt reconciled. It was the only home he'd ever had. There were tigers. There were boulders, rocks and sand, stones, rubber trees, paddy fields throughout the land, jalans, coffee shops and towns, and them as well. His daddy, who loved the country and who meant to live here all his life, though the sun played hell with his white skin. His tame mummy, who seemed spent and sad somehow, maybe because she hated the place and loathed the insects and ants that flew, and was afraid of the snakes she was fated to meet. bats and termites, all the mold that grew. Then, lastly, him, of course, who was their lost child, and could not tell whether it was good or bad, this land where they lived, but still was reconciled, for it was the only home he'd ever had.